What makes atoms bond with each other? Why do some substances have high melting and boiling point? Why are some substances acidic? How do scientists manufacture plastics, glass, and fabric? Inorganic chemistry is a... However, to lessen the confusion, let us also define organic chemistry. Organic chemistry is concerned with the properties and behavior of carbon-containing compounds. Inorganic compounds are any substances composed of two or more chemical elements that bonded together in definite proportions, usually other than carbon. Two examples are ammonia and water. How can we start our journey in inorganic chemistry? Before we study inorganic chemistry further, let us first discuss the periodic table of elements. What is the periodic table of elements? The periodic table of elements is a set of elements having similar chemical and physical properties that are grouped. How do the chemists organize the large volume of elements having similar properties? Elements are arranged sequentially using their atomic number. Atomic number? Mass number? What are they? The number of protons in the nucleus of each atom of an element is called the atomic number. Atoms have an important property we should remember. In a neutral atom, the number of protons is equal to the number of electrons. Therefore, the atomic number also indicates the number of electrons inside the atom. The chemical identity of an atom can be determined solely by its atomic number. For example, the atomic number of nitrogen is 7. This means that each neutral nitrogen atom has 7 protons and 7 electrons. The mass number is the total number of neutrons and protons inside the nucleus of an atom of the element. For example, the mass number of nitrogen is 14. This means that each neutral nitrogen atom has 7 protons and 7 neutrons. In the modern periodic table, the elements are arranged by atomic number in horizontal rows called periods. The vertical columns are known as groups. They are grouped according to similarities in their chemical properties. There are roughly 118 elements. They are divided into 3 main categories called metals, nonmetals, and metalloids. Metals are good conductors of heat and electricity, and are malleable. A malleable material is one in which a thin sheet can be easily formed by hammering or rolling. Nonmetals are poor conductors of heat. In most cases, they are poor conductors of electricity. Nonmetals are not ductile. They are not malleable. Ductile materials can easily be stretched into a wire when pulled. Metalloids have properties that in between metals and nonmetals. Alright, based on the definition of atomic number, let's consider this. What if the atom's charge is not neutral? What will happen to it? What is the role of electron inside the atom? When atoms are neutral, they contain the same number of protons as electrons. What happens if the atoms do not contain the same number of protons and electrons? Neutral atom can be turned into positively charged ions by removing one or more electrons. A neutral sodium atom, for example, contains 11 protons and 11 electrons. By removing an electron from this atom, we get a positively charged Na+ ion that has a net charge of +1. Atoms that gain extra electrons become negatively charged. A neutral chlorine atom, for example, contains 17 protons and 17 electrons. When we add an electron to it, we get a negatively charged chlorine ion with a net charge of -1. Ion? Net positive charge? Net negative charge? What are those? An ion is an atom that has a net positive or negative charge. There are 2 types of ions. They are cations and anions. A cation is an ion with a net positive charge. It gains 1 or more electrons in the chemical process. Some examples are Li positive, Na positive, Ca2 positive. On the other hand, an anion has a net negative charge. It tends to gain one or more electrons in the chemical process. Some examples are Cl negative, O2 negative, N3 negative. Sodium chloride is called an ionic compound because it is formed from cations and anions. Why do atoms undergo loss or gain of an electron? Atoms of elements with low ionization energies tend to form cations. Atoms with high electron affinities tend to form anions. Now, what is ionization energy? What is electron affinity? Ionization energies is the minimum energy required to remove an electron from a gaseous atom in its ground state. This is measured in kilojoule per mole. Electron affinity is the negative of the energy change that occurs when an electron is accepted by an atom in gaseous state to form an anion.